I will attend to some of the questions that are on the group chat. This is an on-the-record press conference, so you can quote anything me or any of the other participants is saying, and there will be time for questions afterwards. I don't think that we'll have time with Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner because his time limit, I'm not sure will allow it. We will continue. I'll just explain a little bit what we'll have in the next few minutes. We'll talk to two of the family members of the victims and the abducted Israelis that from the terror attack on the October 7th. And then I'll say a few words from the Israeli MFA, and we'll open the floor for Q&A. We will start with the first family member, Renana Gomez. Renana, are you with us?
Yeah. Yes, I'm with you. Just a minute. Getting my camera open.
Renana, thank you for joining us on these
Hi.
2 days. And I'll leave the floor to you to tell us your story.
Okay. Since you've heard so many stories on the last 10 days, I'm going to try and just give you a full picture of how it feels. 6:30 in the morning, October 7th, I'm at my partner's place in Kibbutz Sufa, which is nearby my kibbutz, 15 minutes drive. My boys, this is their weekend with their father, are sleeping alone at my place in Kibbutz Niros. They're 12 and 16 on a normal place, on a normal situation. It sounds like a good arrangement. My ex-husband and his girlfriend are sleeping in his house, which is only 400 meters away. Red alerts go off, both in Sufa and Niros. The attack starts. 2 hours passing by, phone calls every couple of minutes from my boys. They're scared. I start getting texts from other members of the community telling that terrorists are walking around freely and trying to get into houses. My boys are saying that they hear gunshots outside the house, and I'm trying to tell them it's probably the army helping them, keeping them safe. 2 hours of terrifying fear. And then I hear online, on the phone, as I'm with them on the phone, I hear people speaking Arabic, opening the door. Afterwards, I found out that my eldest 16-year-old, who's a very strong guy, likes the gym. He was holding the door very, very hard. They had a hard time opening the door, but they did, and they opened it. And they snapped my 2 boys out of their bedroom and dragged them into Gaza. The last thing I heard was my youngest, who's only 12, saying, "I'm too young, don't take me." And they took them. And I've heard nothing about them since. It feels like fauda. It feels unreal. It still feels unreal. I feel like I'm in a bad dream. Must wake up at a certain point. The dream just goes on and on. The nightmare. They had cameras, the terrorists. Israeli soldiers have cameras on them, so if there's by any chance a doubt that they did anything that is immoral, they would be judged. These guys had cameras so they can put it on Instagram and Facebook and celebrate the murder and the destruction. I can't even start to tell you what the place I used to live in and the place I grew up in all my life, what it looks like now. It used to be such a beautiful place. There's nothing left. Nothing left. They've burnt all. They destroyed everything. They stole everything we had. That I don't care about TVs and computers. I care about my kids. Since then, my daily routine is to work hard to get them back in any way I can. Any routine feels, being in a normal routine, getting a shower, getting into bed, eating, sleeping, dyeing my hair. Everything feels so wrong because somewhere in a pit, somewhere in Gaza. I don't know if they're eating. I don't know if they're sleeping. I don't know if they're tortured. I don't know if they're together. I don't know if they're alive. There are 80 members of my community that were taken out of less than 400 people. 80 people. Another 30 were killed. There is no Niroz anymore. Our community is gone. I always tell my kids that the kids in Gaza struggle a lot harder, that they have a much worse life than we do. They don't have running water. They don't have electricity. My heart goes out to every child in Gaza who is killed. Every mother who's losing her child, even if he was a terrorist, 17, 18. But what kind of mother grows such monsters? How can it be that I'm so empathetic to them and they don't see us as humans? These are not neighbors. They are not neighbors. I used to be so pro-Palestine. I still believe that this is the right way for humans to live next to each other. Borders are between countries. They're not between people. They're not between babies and children and elderly people. I found out on the worst way that they're not neighbors. There is no symmetry here. I thought that Islam was like Judaism, against anything that is inhumane, against brutality, against rape, against murder. But I found otherwise. I won't keep silent. I will get the world to get my children back. I'm sorry, I'm very, very emotional. I want you to enlist the world to the effort to release those children and babies and elderly people that are held, I don't even know in what conditions. There's no place for this. And there's no reason to hold innocent people, innocent civilians. They can have their prisoners as far as I'm concerned. They're all monsters anyway. All I want is my children back in their beds. They don't have a home to come back to, but they have a mother to come back to. I'm hoping that their father, my ex-husband, is with them. I don't know. I'm hoping that his girlfriend, who's such a wonderful lady, is with them. I'm taking care of them. I'm hoping that they're treating women there. The women should be treated. That they are not torturing them and raping them. Help us get them back. Bring the kids alive home now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Elena. I know how hard it is. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. We'll move to Shiny Atali, that is also here with us. Shiny, thank you for being with us. Thank you for giving us your time and telling your story. Yes, congratulations.
Okay. Sorry. I'm a bit stressed and I would like to, okay. I would like to read it. Okay. My name is Shaili Atari. My husband's name was Yahav Vinel, and he was murdered this week in Kibbutz Kfar Aza when he sacrificed his life for me and for our 1-month-old daughter, Shaya. That her name is a combination of our name, his name Yav, and mine, Shaili Shaya. Yav was a talented filmmaker. He was a dreamer. But the thing he really wanted in his life more than anything was to be a father. We were together for 10.5 years, and we waited for this baby for a long time. She was like a miracle to us. So it was early morning. Our green kibbutz was quiet when Yav woke me up for my shift with Shaya. He told me that she could wake up to eat shortly. She didn't have time to wake up, and suddenly a massive explosion started. I ran to the safe room, which is our bedroom. Sorry, a minute. Okay, so I ran to the safe room, which is our safe room, and locked the iron door behind me. I was gasping for air while he was trying to figure out with his friends on the shared WhatsApp group what was going on. People started writing that they were being shot outside the house. We understood that there was an infiltration by terrorists. But we suddenly realized that our dog Buckley was not with us in the safe room, and Yav opened the door to bring him inside. When he came with Buckley, I really asked him, don't go out the door, but he insisted to go and bring Buckley. And then I remember he came back and I asked him, Yav, are we going to die? And he said, Mommy, we're not gonna die today. Not long after this, I remember voices outside of the window of the terrace saying, Ta'al, Ta'al. They called people to come to the houses to kill the people. And they said hello, they laughed. Yav we suddenly switched into silent language. We didn't make a sound, a psst, nothing. And we had an agreement silently that is you're with the door, I'm with the baby. This was the agreement. Suddenly, the window opened. A hand came in through the window and moved the iron of the bedroom window. Yav pushed the rail of the iron against them. We didn't have time to say goodbye. I barely got a glance, a short one. Yav, with his hand and body, fought the terrorists who entered the bedroom, and he sacrificed his life for me and Shaya, so we could escape from there. I took Shaya on my hands. I opened the safe room. I went through Shaya's room. I opened the plastic accordion door on the entrance of the house and ran out without shoes, without nothing on me. And I'm disabled in my left leg, so I was limping, so it didn't allow me to run fast. So I had to hide between bushes as I hear the shotting on me and my little baby girl. I hide behind. Sorry, I need to come back to the paper. So I hide behind trees and behind bushes, and the voices calling Ta'al, Ta'al came toward me. I tried to knock on my neighbor's window, but everybody told us from the kibbutz, stay inside, don't open up the doors to nobody. So they didn't open up the door, and if I could say, it's Shaili, it's me, the terrorists will hear me. So I walked through several yards until I found a garden shed that was open of my neighbor's Asher, and the voices of the terrorists got louder as I ran. So I told myself that if Shaya will be quiet, everything will be okay. And she was sleeping, still sleeping on my hands. So I got inside the shed and I looked for something sharp, and I found a hammer and something like a screwed up driver with a hook. I put it inside my pajama in the pockets, and I saw a washing machine. I got behind her. I put empty pots on our heads and sandbags of the garden, and I tried to tell myself, if she will be silent, we'll be okay. I understood that I'm like prey. So I took my pinky and this is what this is what he taught me in the hospital. If I put inside, it's like a pacifier to a baby. Maybe thanks to that pinky inside, she got a bit sleep, but then suddenly she woke up. She started crying. So in one moment, the call of the terrorists became louder, and I knew that now they know where I was. I realized there is no choice. I have no choice. I have to go outside. But the problem is that there was a large lawn in front of me. Like the yards were stopped, and there was a large lawn until the next row. And I understand all of the houses see that lawn. And I understand if now I run with Shayan, they all shot at me, but I saw a laundry room that was open on the other side. And I told myself, a wall is better than a bush or a tree. So I told myself, Shiley, run, don't look back, don't look back. I heard the shooting behind me. I got to the laundry room. Okay. And I arrived to the laundry room, and then a couple of angels named Zoli and Liron called me through the blinds of the window of their house. And when I entered, their three little childs in Bar, Zar, and Daniel cried when they saw a shadow of a large figure like me with a hammer in the shadow. They thought I'm a terrorist. And okay, so I told them, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I cried because I knew that when I get this child, I'm getting the terrorist to their house if she cries. But Liron told me, you did exactly what you should have done. And then after I later realized that when she was comforting me, I knew after that she already received a message from her sister's children who told her mom and dad are dead. And they saw it in front of their eyes. And her sister child that was dead didn't know. They told her, I don't know, where is Abigail? She's 4 years old, and she's currently kidnapped to Gaza along with other mother who has also lost her husband in this massacre. And he was murdered. And little Abigail, the 4-year-old, was kidnapped with that mother who lost her husband and her 3 children to Gaza. I felt so terrible when I entered that house because I understood. And I understood that Shaya is like a magnet to terrorists. I mean, throughout the 27 hours, we were besieged in that safe room of their house without water, without food. Every time Shaya cried, the shooting was only more. When she screamed, we all felt like more shooting. When she didn't scream, less shooting. So I was so sorry. I was so sorry. Like, they sacrificed the risk of their 3 children for us. And I felt like there was a competition of the terrorists around us who can kill that baby. And finally, after 27 hours, the fighters managed to rescue us. But Shaya was already apathic. She's 1 month old. She was so dehydrated that the hospital said in the report that she was crying without tears. Sorry. Sarah inhaled so much smoke that the burning house next to it, she was given oxygen in the hospital for 29 hours. No one found the one who found the body of my husband Yav is my neighbor Nira. She told me that Yav did not suffer much. He was shot in his head and his dreamy blue eyes was still looking at the horizon. He told me he was so naive when he ran out after stalling them the window. He even tried to close the crappy plastic accordion door on them and blocked it with the baby's trolley. I have myself out optimistic he was that he really thought this lousy accordion door would stop the 70 terrorists who entered our home. But what I could actually understand from what Nira said is that Yav didn't save me and Shaya once, he saved us twice. He could have ran through the door, he knew that but if he does that, he would attract the murderers through us. And he loved me so much, he loved us so much, that he sacrificed his life twice for us, twice. And how absurd is that he died near Shaya's trolley. I thought of it a lot. And all our family is broken. It burns inside our soul. They slaughtered us like a flock of sheep. Indiscriminately, they murdered families with children while begging them for mercy. Yav's father, Ophel, who now also has to bury his son, found out later that his niece Hadar, Yav's cousin, who is also in our kibbutz Kfar Aza, was also murdered along with her husband. And the army found their twin babies a few months old later, starving without